Welcome. Today we will be disassembling an HP Envy X360. This particular model is a 15M-BP112DX. This is a convertible touchscreen laptop. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the bottom case screws. For this you're going to need a T5 Torx for the silver screws and a small Phillips head bit for the four that are in the back. And if yours still has the foot on it, you'll just need to peel that foot off to access these screws. So these are small Torx, and I'm using a 2.5. Alright, first so we will remove the battery, and to do that you just remove the screws and pull it out. Then you're going to go ahead and pull the battery downwards and remove it. Alright, for the hard drive, just flip up the little retainer on the SATA connector to release it. And then we can go ahead and just wiggle that hard drive out of the palm rest. Alright, so it might be easier just to go around and pull up the hard drive caddy. It's kind of wedged in there really well, so once you start pulling on the caddy, the hard drive will just kind of pop out. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and remove the this side speaker. I believe that would be the right hand looking from above, and that will allow us to remove the DC jack. Just kind of put it out of the way there. We can go ahead and remove the hinge screws for this side to release the DC jack. And the connector you can just push out with your fingernails, give it a good wiggle. Sometimes it is helpful to use a straight edge if you can't really get in there. Just wiggle it out and then remove the DC jack. Alright, so I went ahead and put a couple screws back into the hinge for when we're ready to remove the display. It'll make it easier to open. So we'll just kind of put that back into place for now, and now we can remove the fan and heatsink assembly. Alright, so peel back the tape, and then we can wiggle that fan connector out of the motherboard. And remove the screws. Alright, now we can remove the fan and heatsink assembly. Alright, we're ready to remove the motherboard, so we're going to go ahead and release all of the ribbons and cables connected to the motherboard. So go ahead and flip up on the retainer and remove the touchpad ribbon. Same with the keyboard, just flip up on the retainer, remove the ribbon. Alright, and then since we're going to be doing it anyways, let's go ahead and remove the other speaker. And we'll just place it out of the way for now. Alright, so do a last check for any other ribbons. Looks good. And now we can remove the screws to the motherboard. Alright, we're almost ready to remove the motherboard. One last thing we need to do is the Wi-Fi card here. We're going to go ahead and pop those antennas off. And then we want to remove the screw to that Wi-Fi card because it's usually put into a slot in the motherboard. So once you have the screw out, the card should come out with the motherboard. And just gently give it a little wiggle. And the motherboard should come right out, and then we can go ahead and remove that Wi-Fi card. Alright, now that we have access to the last screw, we'll go ahead and remove the SD card board. Alright, now we can separate the palm rest from the display assembly. So go ahead and open it up. And then we can just move these speakers out of the way for now. And go ahead and remove the screws holding the display to the palm rest. And then we can separate the display from the palm rest. Alright, so on this model the keyboard is not removable. It is riveted into the palm rest, so we're going to go ahead and just remove the touchpad. So go ahead and free that ribbon and then remove the 3 Phillips head screws from the top. And then we can just wiggle it out of the palm rest. Alright, so that is it for the palm rest. If you need to remove the speakers, they're of course just kind of held on by grommets and then a couple screws. So that is it for the palm rest, and now we will take apart the display assembly. Alright, now for the display assembly, like most other displays, we're going to separate the back cover from the front bezel. So you want to get a straight edge in between the two and then just start gently prying up until you start popping out the little snaps. Alright, so once you have this separated, you can see the back cover assembly and the LCD panel itself there in the front. Alright, now with the front display panel assembly, we're going to go ahead and remove the video cable. So just pull back on this big piece of tape and just be very gentle at the end, because it is going to pull the connector out as you're pulling the tape back. Just do it slow and gently. Make that 2 pieces of tape. And then on the LCD side, just flip up on the little retainer and finish pulling up the tape that is holding the video cable to the LCD. And there's the video cable. The LCD is pretty tightly glued onto the front bezel, so you're going to need a heat gun if you want to separate the two. It's pretty well adhered around the perimeter, so you would want to use a heat gun all the way around until it's easier to pull that glue out without breaking the bezel. Alright, now for the back cover assembly, we'll go ahead and remove the hinges. And then the cables just pull out of the hinge cover and remove the hinge. And repeat for the other side. Alright, now we can remove the webcam cable. So just pull it out of the little retainers there. And we'll unstick it from the back cover. And for the connectors, they have a little piece of tape holding the cable to the webcam, so you want to peel that back. It's very small. And we'll go ahead and remove the connector. Definitely helps to have fingernails. So there's the webcam cable. Alright, process is the same for the Wi-Fi antennas. They're just stuck on with adhesive, and just make sure you feed them through the right little notches if you need to replace them. And it looks like the last thing we'll need to remove here is the webcam. So always peel from either the bottom or the top, never from either end, because it's easy to bend and break them. They're pretty fragile. Just peel from the bottom, should unstick. And then just to point out also, on the back cover, sometimes the fastener can actually pull out of the hinge mount. So as you see right here, the little fastener is gone. It's a pretty common problem, something to look for when you're disassembling your laptop. If you find it and the little port isn't broken, some super glue or plastic epoxy will work really well to kind of restore that little screw. So that's it. If the video helped you or you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.